The first time you start After Effects, this is the interface you'll be seeing. Let's talk about the different panels, where they are and what they do one by one. Right at the top of the screen, you'll have the main menu bar. This bar is going to host most of the common menus. We'll talk about these in the future tutorials. And underneath that is your toolbar. This is where most of the tools will be. And to the right of that is an options area. This area is going to show you the settings of the tool you have selected. And to the right of the options area, you see the shortcuts for some workspaces. We'll talk about the workspaces momentarily. And to the right of that is a search area where you can search through the help documentation. Right now, all of these panels are collapsed. If I go and click on the name of any of them, that will expand the panel, and I can do the same for any of these panels here as well. So if I click on the audio panel, or the preview panel, or the align panel and so on. So every time you click either on the name, or just to the side of the name of the panel, you can expand the panel, and again if you click on the same area, you'll collapse it. You may have noticed that you can only have one panel open at a time. That's a function you can turn off by either right-clicking somewhere here, or simply clicking on this button here to the right of the panel, and then you go to Panel Group Settings, and then here you turn off Solo Panels in Stack. So if I turn this off, this means now I can have more than one panel open at a time. So if I go to, for example, the Audio panel, as well as my Align panel, the Audio panel is now up. If I click on Info as well, you see that will expand the Info panel as well. And if you open up more panels than what your monitor can display, let's say I open up my Preview panel as well, you'll start revealing this scroll bar on the side. If I go and scroll down or up, I can go back and forth between the panels. If you want that feature to come back on again, the solo feature, all you have to do is to click on this button again, next to any of these panels, doesn't matter. I can click here, go to Panel Group Settings, and turn the Solo Panels in Stack on. That will allow only one panel to be open at any given time. And to the left of these panels, right in the middle of the screen, you'll see the Composition panel. The Composition panel is where you'll be seeing pretty much all of your work, and eventually, when it comes to exporting your work, you'll export what you see in the Composition panel. So the Composition panel is your main canvas. This is where all of the work happens. And underneath the Composition panel, you have your timeline, and to the left of the timeline, you'll see your layers. And above the layers, or to the left of the Composition panel, you have your Project panel. The Project panel is like Finder on Mac or Explorer on Windows. This is where you're going to be organizing pretty much all of your files. You can create folders, you place the files inside the folders, you organize the files, you rename them. All of that happens inside the Project panel. This panel is like a repository for all the files you'll be using inside the project. The arrangement of all of these panels is called a workspace, and in the next tutorial, we'll have a look at creating and saving a custom workspace.